Welcome back to Harburn Double O, or welcome to Harburn Double O. Over the next couple of videos I'll be showing you how I install LEDs on the layout. The Postman came with these packs here, 2 packs for under £10, so it works out to be 5 of that pack, £1 per pole, which is not too bad I think, it is affordable for my budget. So we'll be showing you how I test them, work out the resistor value, and also in the second part we'll be installing on the layout as well. So let's go to the workbench and we'll get them tested. Always best to test them first. Coming from China, you maybe spend a lot of time installing the layout, turn on the switch and it doesn't work. So you better get the doesn't work first on the workbench rather than on the layout. So to test the LEDs, we've got 4 wires because we've got 2 LEDs coming out of it. And we need to work out what's positive, what's negative, and also if they're working or not. They have came across the sea from China, so they may be damaged in transit. So it's always advisable to get them tested. You can use a button battery for these ones are for a car remote. You need to make sure it's 3 volts, as for the white LEDs that is. I like to use a little tester here, a TC1. So I'll hold in place using my BT100 device for holding things. Place them in, press the button. And there you are. It does tell you as well, pin number 2 is positive and pin number 3 is negative. This little bar here is also a negative sided diode. So I've checked T2, I'll check LR2. Wires, and there you are. Once again, pin number 1 is a positive and pin number 2 is a negative, indicated with a little bar there. If you did try it and it come unknown damaged part, change one of the leads. It may be the case you've been unlucky to get the leads the wrong way. And you probably notice, once I test them there, I get them working, I always mark one side of the leads with a Sharpie, so I know which pair go where. So that's it tested. I know both the LEDs are working. What I'll then do is work out the resistor for them. Now, you can Google LED resistor calculator, and there's quite a few in the market. Or in my case here, I've put in my mobile phone. UF is the voltage the LED requires. For white LEDs it's always 3 volts. The IF is the power drawn from the resistor milliamps. I always use 20 for these small LEDs. The number of LEDs is actually 1 I'm using. I don't want to use 2, and the supply voltage that I use is 5 volts. So you press that and you press calculate, and it comes down with the resistor 100 ohms, and it's got to be brown, black, brown. And lo and behold, I have the resistors here, and you can see brown, black, and brown is the required one. And again, if you weren't sure the value of the resistor, if you weren't 100% happy with it, stick it into the little tester. Press the button, and it comes up 99 ohms. It's not far off 100 ohms for the resistor. So that's me. I'll now go ahead and connect the resistor to the LEDs. You can use one resistor for the 2 LEDs. I also recommend using one resistor for each LED. With the wires for the resistor, it doesn't matter if it goes on the red or the blue. In this case here, it would be 0 volts. As long as your resistor goes on a wire, and it's not important which one it goes on. For my layout, I like to use the blue, or I'll be changing to black just shortly because my layout is black for the 0 volts. I use that as a common wire, so I put the resistors onto these ones here. These will go into my DCC controller. So it depends on the size of the hole in your board if you can get these resistors in or not. So as a wee check with the hole in the board first to make sure the resistor can go through it. I might remind you've got 4 wires and the resistor going through that small hole. So we'll turn the resistor first. And put on a wire. That's it. And for my layout there, I use the 0 volts as a common. So I'll go ahead and do that for the other red wire, and then I'll connect up the 2 black wires. Now with the wire I use 7 strands at 0.2 millimeters. Capable of hand up to 5 amps without any worry. You can run about with these little tiny wires. The only reason that I use this wire is because it's cheaper than these small wires, and it's also easy to handle. I will be putting DuPont connectors on the end as well, and it gives the DuPont connector a good bit to bite into. So with the common wire, tie 2 together. I always like to tin each wire first before soldering them together. What I'll just do before I do anything else, I'll put a bit of heat shrink over the wires. You can use a soldering iron lighter, or I like to use a flambe. I've got a set of DuPont connectors. They're actually cheaper than the tool. The tool's about £12 on eBay, and this is about £10 for the box. And just how I like to connect them up, DuPont connectors. That's him on. So I'll do that too. So that's 3 of them done there. So I'll do put the covers shielding on until I put in the layout. I put it through the board first, one at a time, and then once it's under the board I can put on the shield on the connectors. You can tweak the LED about the back of the light there to get the position you want, and the same again, you can put on a bit of super glue, or I like to use a bit of Mod Podge in them. Before I do that, I find the LEDs, the white ones, are quite bright, so just to dull it down a little shade, to take the sharpness off that whiteness, I'm going to paint the LEDs. And I do use nail varnish for it. Don't tell the wife, but I'll try and get it back in her bag before we finish this video. So what I do is take it out, get most of it off. You only do a little touch on each LED. It's got a little paint. Takes about 2 or 3 minutes to dry. Then once it's dry, we'll put in some Mod Podge just to make a lens for it. So that's it dried now. Just use a cocktail stick into the Mod Podge and into the lens. Poke it in. That's it, the Mod Podge dries crystal clear. So I'll leave that one to dry. So in true Blue Peter style, I've let these ones dry and we can test them. I haven't put the LEDs in this one yet. So that's us folks. In the next part we'll be putting this into the layout. You can imagine trying to put the resistors in underneath the layout, it's a nightmare. That's why I always like to do most of my work on the workbench. So thanks for watching, catch you again, bye.